once you have evidence that they want to get after something, what you want to do is you want to find out what the impact of that is to the organization. And a lot of what I'm saying, if you do this for a living, you know intuitively. But what I find is that when I sit with professionals and start to question them on this, and when we review calls, when we review plans for sales calls, these are the things that show up. So impact, to me, right, there's the impact to the organization, but really it's inside of an organization, like even that one, where it sounds like it's a big opportunity. It's where does it rank inside the organization right now? So what I'm talking about inside when I'm talking about impact is not necessarily just the dollar impact. So again, that opportunity that I uncovered in that I talked about in evidence, where we were able to establish what is a pretty sizable opportunity. The key is to find out what is the impact inside the organization compared to other opportunities, right? So every organization, unless it's a really small organization, has competing priorities. So, and at some point they need to rank those against each other, and you need to find out where your opportunity fits in. So even though it may be perfectly in your sweet spot, it may have a fantastic financial and or cultural or whatever the result is inside of the organization. It may have all those things lined up and it may feel perfect to you. You need to find out because if it's a ranked number 7 on a list of 10 in things that they could do, if you were in that organization, you would say, oh, well, then you should really do 1 through 5 at least before you start looking at this opportunity with me again. This is, I do this thing with, where I pretend like I'm the scales of justice, and I tip back and forth and I say, yes and no at this point, when you're developing opportunities, need to be of equal value, of equal weight. Because if you're really going to help your clients get solutions and get products that will help them the most, you need to be able to walk them through and walk away with a good conscience when you know that even though something may have a large impact to them, they have other things that they should take care of in the between time. So that's what I mean there. So ranking an opportunity versus other opportunities, it's one thing for me to say it. The reason that it's important, obviously, is because you need to know where you stand. Why waste time with an opportunity where you're really ranked low on the opportunity list of all the opportunities they're looking at inside the organization? But then also, it really does free them up to help, and trust you. You make these decisions a lot, right? You help companies with these opportunities time and time again, but they probably do it very few times. And so any advice you have to help them make a good decision is helpful. So how do you do it? Is Greg, how do you list out the impact? This is a multi-step process, but one of the things when you're talking to whoever you're talking to is you need to have a list of opportunities that they are looking at, and you need to push back against why it is that your opportunity is even being considered at this point. A lot of times you're talking to somebody inside the organization, an influencer, somebody who is tasked with doing research. And so you're working through the project with them. So they might not have the exact answer for you at the right time. But that being said, you can work with them and get a list out. And then it's really that list that you take around the organization and find out other things that they're looking at, other opportunities where they may be looking to invest their money and trying to decide what's best for them. So as an example, I had a wonderful opportunity with a large company that would have been a nice marquee company for me to put on my website, right? A big enough company that I could say, hey, look at these Fortune 100 companies that Greg works with. But as I was talking to the new director, who does need some help inside of even just inside of his department, when he was describing what he needed my help with, I could hear other priorities until I said, you need to tell me why you would rank this one above any of these other things that we've been talking about. And he looked at me and he said, that's a good point. These are other opportunities. Now, the good news is that even though that's happened, let's see, gosh, it's been a year and a half since we talked. Every 2 months, I am still in touch with them. And the nice thing is I have that list of priorities. So now I've become kind of my own advocate in that. I'm trying to get him to work through those other priorities because I do think they're more important to the business than what it was that we were going to work on. However, I know that as soon as he gets a couple of those out of the way, now I have my own best case. He has a better case to take to the people he needs to put our program that we were talking about into place. So I don't know if I described that well enough for you, but in that case, it wasn't even that Greg was doing a great job of questioning. It's simply that he was offering it. I was listening and taking notes. And as I went down the list, with most of the people I talk to, there's probably 20 things they talk about that I have no idea how to help them with. And there's a half a dozen that I can help them with. And so in that giant list of everything that's going on, and I say, where do these things fit in? That's where it was coming out. And I was listening and I was thinking, man, you really do need to take care of this other stuff, which revolved around personnel and revolved around some global change that was happening in the organization that I think is where the time is best spent. So uncovering opportunities, developing evidence, helping them develop evidence, really finding out what it is that they measure, how will they measure, how will they know that it's working for them, and then the impact of the organization, where ranking the impact of whatever opportunity you're talking about against other opportunities that they're talking about. Those are really the first two areas that I talk to business development people, that I talk to partners in law firms, partners in accounting firms, where we're trying to help them develop the opportunity.